Winter is coming and it's making some of us start to feel our age. Game of Thrones is back, season 6. I am back with my episode by episode reviews. This first one's out a little later than I would have planned, but I was sick for a little bit coming off of watching the other one. I wasn't up for it, so this is getting up late. I will try and get these up within a few hours of the episode having aired, and I'm no longer doing spoiler free. That's the big thing. I'm talking spoilers now just because it's easier. So with that said, let's get started with The Woman in Red. We pick up where you would expect to pick up, which is immediately following the death of Jon. Well, not immediately, it's the next morning, but basically the discovery of his body. And I think that was a really smart place to start, given that almost all of the speculation about this season has been about, is he dead, is he not? Now, it is pretty clear at this point, he is dead. Does that mean he won't come back? Well, no, we are dealing with a world that we've seen resurrection through various means on a couple of different characters. Maybe he'll still come back, but for right now, he is dead. He did die. And I like the whole thing with Jon's very close friends basically kind of banding together and being like, we are completely outnumbered by people who either were in on betraying him or are going to go along with it because Sir Alastair has taken power. And I like that Davos is mixed in with that group because I just love him and I love any reason we can have for him to stick around and be an active part of things going on. I will say I was really impressed with Sir Alastair basically saying up front, I killed him, here's why. And even going so far as to say, I do believe Jon Snow did what he thought was right, but it would have been the end of us. So I was really impressed with the handling of that. They didn't just make him cackling villain, I'm taking over. It's like, no, he still has to get these guys on his side. He still has to be a charismatic leader type. Otherwise, they're just going to take it out on him and it's going to be an instant revenge kill. And they make it believable that he could take control of the situation. There's a surprising bit of humanizing for a number of more or less villainous characters. Well, more or less in the case of Sir Alastair. Definitely in the case of Ramsay, because he gets introduced into the season in a surprisingly human moment, basically mourning the girl that Theon pushed off the wall. Now, ultimately, this is still Ramsay. He is still a dick about it, but at the same time, it's like that there is some semblance of something slightly human under that, which in a way makes him even more monstrous. Because if he were just the, pillaging, raping, I'm going to cut you into thing, he's easier to dismiss. But when there's a hint of humanity, that somehow makes it worse. Like, maybe there's something that could be saved, but you don't care. You're just going to be this horrible thing anyway. Of course, Theon and Sansa, of course they're alive. I knew they were going to be. And they're running away. And realistically, they were not going to get away. They were being hunted down with dogs, men on horseback. They were never going to escape. And they don't escape. Instead, they are rescued by someone who it was already established was in the area, Brienne of Tarth. What a fantastic entrance for her into that, just riding in, saving the day. Podrick gets an awesome kill. Even Brienne, she gets knocked down a bit. She does have to actually fight. Even though she is the White Knight riding in to save the day, she doesn't save it easily. She still has to do the work, which is part of what I love about her. I love that she has now found Sansa and she is now going to finally get to fulfill part of her pledge to Lady Stark, which is to protect the daughters. And I'm so happy for Brienne. It makes me really hopeful, that something good will finally come of Sansa. So I like all that a lot. What else we got? King's Landing. Cersei and Jaime reunited and pissed. And rightfully so. Jaime gets to find out about what Cersei went through while he was gone. Cersei gets to find out that their daughter is dead. Yeah, neither of them was in a good place at the end of last season. Now they both got renewed reason to just burn this place to the ground. And I kind of want to see him do it. We get a quick little scene with Margaery, and we see the High Sparrow, who I love. Jonathan Pryce in this role is so good because he just comes across as so humble, and even points out that some of his other followers are too zealous, but he's just so committed to his belief in such a calm way. It's really disarming in a kind of frightening way almost. Over in Braavos, well, that blindness seems to be sticking around pretty well. But I like seeing the other girl from the House of Black and White coming and it looks like basically starting up her training again. She's going to, through beating her with a stick, teach her to blind fight. It looks like because she says, I'll see you tomorrow. So this is going to be a recurring thing to get Arya back sort of up and ready to keep going again. Over in Mereen, not too much happens, but we just sort of get a reestablishment of the situation, which is not great for anybody, really. It's not complete chaos, but it's not really clear who's kind of in control of what's going on. And I really like the vibe I'm getting off of Tyrion, because he really just feels like, yeah, this place is a mess. I'm gonna fix it. He's got this energy about him that I feel like he's just gonna step up and just do awesomeness. Over in Doran was weird because I'm not sure why it was there. The thing is, the whole hook for the Doran scenes before was how the Sand Snakes and that other woman wanted revenge against the Lannisters, and Jaime and Bronn, trying to get Jaime's daughter back, but that kind of all finished. It kind of wrapped up. What went on there last season didn't get me invested in the place in and of itself. So, okay, so there's a coup and they killed the prince and most of the guards seem to be on their side, and that's not uninteresting, but I don't think I care, and I'm not sure why I'm supposed to. I'm not upset about it or anything. I'm just, right now, I don't care. And finally, we've got Daenerys with the Dothraki, which is still just weird to me. I mean, it kind of happened. I guess they just saw her and like, yeah, we'll take her. I like that she established, her authority and her history right off the bat. But at the same time, this whole, I would never touch a Khal's widow. You have to go off to this other place. I mean, I'm sure, I guess, it's an existing law and all the rest of that. But because this show's been going on 6 seasons, we never heard it before. It feels a bit kind of a Deus Ex Machina explanation. Oh, thank goodness there's this rule that will keep them from ever molesting her again. I'm like, well, good, but you kind of pulled that one out of your butt. And I'm just not in love with this whole direction for her because it's what it feels like we have been seeing happen to Daenerys for most seasons, which is just stalling. Roadblock after roadblock after roadblock just to keep her from taking the dragons and going across the stupid narrow sea. It's called the narrow sea. It's not that big. Just get her on the other side of it already. Like, there was a point when she was first building up her forces, first taking over Slaver's Bay, things like that. I'm like, cool, awesome. You showed her she's having difficulty ruling. Okay, I'm fine with that. But the whole time I'm like, I want her on the other side of that sea. I want her in Westeros. I want her tearing stuff up. And you're still stalling. I tell you, when she finally gets there, it better be epic because they have spent so much time delaying that. But overall, this is a pretty good start. It establishes all the stuff that needs to be reestablished. It has enough stuff moving forward, or at least sets us up for what will be things moving forward, that it doesn't feel like an inert, just a reminder of everything going on episode. And most of the things that it seems to be pointing to, at least for the immediate follow-ups of the next few episodes, I like and I'm digging. Some things feel like wheel spinning. I suppose the last thing I should talk about is that last reveal with Lady Melisandre, which was interesting. I'm not sure I've got a word for it besides that. It does definitely give me a completely different perspective on her as a character, and when I rewatch earlier episodes now, I'm gonna watch them with kind of a different eye and kind of a different thought process, which is the kind of thing that a really good reveal does. It makes you reevaluate a character, because before it just seemed like, well, she's just power hungry, but then you see truly, not in words, nobody's just saying it, but you see fully represented just how old she is. Yeah, that changes your perspective. Like, she's been around long enough. I don't think she'd just be in this for power. She has faith. She believes all this, and she seems to now be doubting that. And in this one stroke, she has become much more interesting to me as a character. So, yeah, well done. So there's my thoughts on The Woman in Red, premiere episode for Game of Thrones. What did you think about this thing? Did you love it? Did you hate it? You like some of it? You didn't like some of it? Whatever you thought, drop something down in the comments and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Council of Geeks. Check out the Council of Geeks podcast at iTunes and Stitcher. And until next time, this council is adjourned.